Millie, I'm so happy to see you again.
I'm so happy to see you. We're always seeing each other. Last time when? Was it in London?
In London, maybe in 2019, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And we were like young girls, and now we're both women.
I know, my goodness. It's great to be back and to be actually still seeing you, in our UNICEF world. It means the world to me to be able to, work alongside someone as brilliant as you. So and be in Brazil. Where I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, you came to London, I'm here. Bring you in now.
It's your turn. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So we're both UNICEF ambassadors, and I wanted to know what drew you to the organization and what keeps you committed.
Oh my goodness. Well, it doesn't take a lot to keep me committed. I think, the work they do stands out for themselves and keeps me motivated because in what they do, they show you what they've done, but they also show you the progress that needs to be made. So that always motivates me to keep committed because I know that there's such a bigger cause out there. I guess I was so young when I started.
How old were you, by the way?
Oh my gosh. 13. Yeah, 13.
Oh my God, a young girl.
Yeah, really young. But I always knew, I even from a very young age, I loved school. So I kind of always knew how important my education was to me. And so when my parents were always very transparent with me about the world I lived in, right? And that how privileged I was to be able to be given the tools that I had.
Yeah.
And so when I realized that others lived in a world that didn't provide them those opportunities, I realized that I had a platform to speak on things that were really important, and UNICEF gave me that platform. So I was very lucky. It was just a very organic kind of like, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. And UNICEF were like, well, we believe in young people. So it was just a beautiful unison. So I was very lucky. What about you?
So I started a couple of years ago, 2 years ago or 1 year ago. And it was always a part of me to speak in the name of youth. And also seeing that in Brazil, we have a lot of, I'm very privileged, but it's sad to see that not everybody gets education. So to see that UNICEF is looking especially for the youth and taking care of them and developing programs and also taking care of young girls that has no access to proper hygiene when it comes to
menstrual hygiene.
Yeah. And education and all of that. So to see them really going in the field and doing something makes me committed, and also looking forward to what can I do to help and to speak and also use our platforms to
you have
help.
Such a huge following, right? And I think that's what's so beautiful about UNICEF is that they're like, you have a great following, but let's harness all of those people that you can reach out and talk to and inspire them and motivate them to make a change in their community. So, you have a huge following, and to be able to talk to your audience and empower them, especially because I'm sure majority of them are young women.
Yeah.
Same with me. So it's like, oh gosh, this is such a wonderful chance to strike when the iron is hot, when people are listening to you. And to be able to do that with UNICEF is a dream come true.
And also to talk about things that people think that the problems are solved, like cyberbullying. Just because we've been talking about it for way too long, it doesn't mean that it's gone.
Right.
So UNICEF has always a new way of talking about this stuff and open our eyes to see so the problem is still there.
Yeah.
Let's raise our voices and make a change.
Totally.
So talking about Brazil, talking about São Paulo specifically.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with them here?
I've never been on the field for UNICEF. This is my first time. So, I'm 21. I've been an ambassador for 8 years, I want to say. To be able to go out on the field finally and to be actually witnessing what the education program looks like out here in Brazil is going to be so impactful and educational for me to be able to actually see what's going on. Because I've spoken in the UN a lot about children's education and calling on world leaders to invest more in girls' lives. And of course, I believe in that so much. But to be able to see it will only motivate me more and educate me more on what's really happening out on the field. So I am going to the outskirts of São Paulo to witness what the education program looks like out there, and to be able to sit there and to listen, right? To be a listening ear and to see what we can do to help provide support and to see the families that UNICEF have helped, I'm really excited and I'm really honored and blessed to be able to go to that community.
And I'm so happy that you came. Like you're doing this here in Brazil. It's so special. I think it's gonna be an unforgettable moment for like you and also for them.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I've seen you speaking about education, but like, is there any other UNICEF initiative that is closest to your heart?
Good question. Well, I mean, I initially always came in with empowering young people. I had hosted World Children's Day. So that's always been like, you know, the core of it, right? Because for me, you know, I was very lucky to have a seat at the table very young. And I couldn't imagine a world where other young people aren't allowed to make decisions and to receive the same opportunities I've received. So World Children's Day and empowering young people was always the core. But then as I started to get older, I started to realize that specifically young women have their own set of struggles. And I'm lucky enough that I didn't have to face any of those. I'm very privileged. But I realized, what does that look like if I didn't have those things? And are there women out there that don't have access to, you know, menstrual products and that don't have access to, you know, secondary school and be able to actually go and get a degree in something that they're really passionate about? And then I thought to myself, whoa, this is specifically targeting young women. And I think UNICEF do such a beautiful job in highlighting that this is a huge sector of the problems that we're trying to face and figure out. And so I kind of went back to UNICEF a couple of years after, I guess, my ambassadorship. And then I realized, oh, I think this is something else I'm really interested in doing with you guys. Is this something that I can be a part of? And of course, they welcomed me with open arms. And it's such a taboo topic to talk about.
It is.
Menstrual health and menstrual hygiene. And I'm like, I'm not afraid to talk about it. Are you kidding me? This is we don't ask for this. And to be able to talk about it and to empower girls to talk about it, because it's not something that we should be afraid of. And UNICEF give us that microphone to speak a little bit louder about the things that you typically or societally shouldn't. And so those are the things that I'm kind of got my hands in, and those are the things that I feel really, really passionate about. What about you?
Same. And I just wanted to tell you that here in Brazil, we also struggle with all of that, but UNICEF has also a lot of programs about that. And in the northeast of Brazil, they also have programs towards menstrual hygiene. And they're basically empowering young women to talk about their problems and then to fix that problems.
Right.
So it's something really good to see that it's not only talking about a topic, but also doing something about it.
But that's what UNICEF, that's what I love, right? It's like, we can talk about it all we want, but do we see the change? And UNICEF, we talk about it, and then you see after the fact the things that we're able to do and the things that they were able to do. So I love that, right? It's not just a conversation, it's a plan of action. And I personally have always been kind of so motivated to get into that plan of action to see what we can do and actually get our hands in it and go, you know what, we need to fix this problem. Enough talking, let's do it. So it's so nice to be able to share that same mutuality in that, because I think it's huge. And to be able, your platform here to talk about something like that feels so taboo and scary to some girls, to be able to hear, you know, someone as brilliant and as you to be able to talk about that is so inspiring. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. So talking about the fact that both of us grew up in front of the cameras, we know it's not something easy, that people have always something to say about our lives.
Right.
How is it like for you to decide like what you want to share and what you decide to keep to yourself? Because I've seen that your relationship with social media has changed throughout the years.
Right.
How do you balance that?
I think that the number one thing I can say is that when you have a support system and when you have resources, you are going to be okay, and you are given the platform to talk about it, whether that's openly out there or just with your family and friends. But having that support system is what's gotten me through those hard times of navigating what my life looks like. And that's why I love UNICEF, because they give you those resources and that, you know, that platform to speak freely about the things that you are struggling with. And I think the programs out there to protect cyberbullying with UNICEF is huge, right? Because the second you have that support system and you're able to go, hey, I actually need help and this isn't okay and I'm scared now and this is hurting me, UNICEF's there to step in to help. And for me, I was lucky enough to have my friends and family to step in, but I understand that that's not the reality of other people and other young people that have access to social media, and that's where UNICEF steps in, and it can be that kind of family and support unit that so many need.
Yeah. When it comes to mental health, that it's a important topic that UNICEF also talks about.
Right.
What do you do to take care of yourself?
I mean, I think it goes back to, I love to journal. I mean, I love writing things down.
Me too.
Yeah, right? It's great to journal because I think, so much happens in our brains, and to be able to compartmentalize and be able to store things in certain parts and go, you know what, this isn't serving me. This kind of information, this content isn't right for me. But I'm going to bring in something positive that happened to me today, and I'm going to write that down. So writing down what you're grateful for. I love journaling. Again, using my support unit and talking things out. A friend of mine who I love, Florence Pugh, she reached out to me the other day and she said, I want you to learn something, and it's going to the end of your thought process, right? So a really negative thought comes in about something someone said to you, or you say, or you hear something, or you intake this content that's not serving you. You go to the end of the thought. So you start thinking, well, why was that said? What are they going through? Or is this actually true? Do I know this about myself? Do my friends and family think that about myself? And then you start going to the end of the thought and you realize, this isn't real. This is just
not
a
about
thought.
you. Yeah.
It's not about you, right? And then you can kind of go, oh wait, hold on. I've just come around in one big circle and I've ended up right back, but on the other side of it. And you go, this isn't about me. And that is a huge technique that I've just recently learned.
That's brilliant.
It is, but you know what? I'm still learning, and that's why I love this, because I get to look on peers like Florence, who has a huge platform, and to be able to hear that from someone I really respect and admire, which again is that support unit, right, that I was going back to. I went back to it and I was like, wow, this is so important to me. So using techniques to help me understand my brain more is huge. What do you do?
I try to, I do yoga.
Okay.
I think it helps meditation and also journaling. I like to organize my thoughts there. So like I write what I want to do, what I've done, and also like, free thoughts. Sometimes I have an idea and I don't want to forget it. So I just write it, even if it's a bad thing. And then three days go by and then I read again and I was like, it's not a problem anymore. It's gone. So I think that has helped me a lot. But also talking to friends and talking to people who I know that love me. But this is something that I was thinking, talking to you, like it's so magical, the fact that you started so young with UNICEF, because we can see how much you've matured and like that now you have a new way of speaking of the same things that you've always believed in.
Right.
So now you have like more knowledge and
but
new
still
ways
learning, right?
Yeah,
and
it's still learning.
We're still so young, and so UNICEF has been, oh my gosh, the leading organization, right? And for so many years before us. So their knowledge, their expertise, as much as they're still learning and growing, their knowledge is kind of always what I revert back to. Like, okay, they have the statistics, they know what's going on thoroughly, and so we're able to go back as young people and go, hey, but what about this, and come up with ideas, but they're able to kind of support you with the information and the things they've seen over all those years that they've been working on it. So it's such a beautiful thing that we're able to come together and do with each other, for each other, and for women like us. I think it's so impactful.
And last but not least, Millie, can you leave a message for the Brazilian youth, especially people that love you, that grew up with you, just like me, and that definitely are very inspired by this interview?
Oh, well, I hope that you are inspired by this interview, and something I live by is women inspire women. So if you are in your community, if you're in your room, if you're walking down the street or at school today, reminder that women inspire women. So go to, look to the girl to your left, ask if she's okay, hold her hand if she's going through something, find that sisterhood in your community, and be that change. Don't be afraid, and, You're so beautiful. Thank you so much for being such a great role model to your Brazilian outlet and honestly to the world. So I'm so proud to be here with you, and I love you, Brazil, and I'm very, very, very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Millie, now I have a gift for you.
Oh my goodness. Hello, Millie. My name is
Tainara.
I am an Indigenous girl from the Cambeba people of the Amazon region and a UNICEF youth advocate. With great affection and joy, I've crafted this necklace especially for you. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful she is. Wow, oh my goodness, I feel very lucky. This is like my first gift from Brazil, I guess, especially a necklace.
It's a special gift.
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And this is made out of, I'm just reading, seeds of dyed acai collected in our rainforest. Are you kidding me? This
so
is
beautiful.
The attention to detail. This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I wish I could hug her and say thank you so much. This is so beautiful. Thank you. I'm very excited. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna wear this.
You will wear it?
Yeah, I know.
Should I help you?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm just gonna put it. Oops, sorry.
Okay. I had to lift up my hair that I don't have. I just cut it yesterday.
Looking flawless. Okay.
Okay.
All set.
I feel like she wants me to spread them out. Here we go.
Aww.
This is perfect. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.